guys, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Liz.
And here we are on Dancing in the Kitchen. We are so excited to dive into our prenatal nutrition theme. And we're going to be talking today about foods to avoid, foods to include, and what I eat in a day as a pregnant lady.
Yes.
So without further ado, I think we'll just kind of dive in. We've got an array here of foods, and we'll talk a bit about what I eat in a day, and then I'll dabble in some details just to give you some good information about what you might want to be thinking about if you're trying to conceive or if you're already pregnant in terms of supporting your body and your baby with good nutrition.
Fantastic.
All right, so let's start with morning sickness.
Fun.
Yeah, not fun. I have been pretty fortunate in my first pregnancy. It was very straightforward. A lot of women suffer from morning sickness kind of for the first trimester, and it tends to fade off after 12 to 14 weeks. And that was what happened with me with my first son. I would just kind of get sick in the morning. Sometimes I'd be queasy during the day, but not much. And the advice that I was told was eat complex carbs and eat them with like a little bit of protein, so like whole grain crackers and hummus, that kind of thing.
And how'd that work for you?
Not at all. So the other thing I learned from that time period was that they think that morning sickness may have something to do with your blood sugar and like rises and drops in blood sugar.
Okay.
So if you let your stomach get too empty or your blood sugar drop too far, that can be when nausea starts to creep in.
Interesting.
Which is part of why maybe it's called morning sickness, even though it can be all day, when you're waking up in the morning after fasting all night, sleeping.
Your blood sugar is lower.
And so it tends to be more common in the morning. And what I found was they told me to keep like crackers by my bed and nibble on them in the middle of the night to like keep it at bay. It didn't work at all. So what actually worked for me really well and has worked for every pregnancy since.
Okay, do tell.
I will wake up in the morning. I'll be kind of like immediately sick for, 15 minutes or so. For me, like TMI, but it's kind of just dry heaving. It's like, oh, I'm queasy. And then I'll be able to eat a little bit of whole fat, plain yogurt, no sugar.
Okay.
Done, gone.
All right.
Yeah, it like settles it and goes away. So what I found worked for me was high protein. Like protein and fat versus carbs.
Okay.
Because carbs, as we know, can make your blood sugar spike.
So if you have a problem out there, maybe that's something that you want to try.
Yeah, and let us know what works for you. I'm sure that the complex carbs and protein combo works for a lot of people.
Everybody's different.
Exactly. Yeah. So in terms of what I eat in a day, I will often start with a little bit of whole fat plain yogurt, which is also great for probiotics. And for women who have a natural birth, vaginal birth, the baby is basically seeded with their microbiome from the woman's flora.
Okay.
So you want to have a really healthy, intact, and like robust and diverse flora in your body. So eating probiotics is one way to make sure that's happening. Another is to avoid antibiotics if you're able to.
Okay.
So that you're not killing everything off right before having the baby.
That makes sense.
So after that, I will start with a healthy breakfast with a lot of protein and some antioxidants. So for me, I usually do like some eggs and bacon and some berries. Liz does miss bacon.
I do miss bacon. It's just, it smells so good. It's like, for me, the hardest of the meats to stop. I don't know why. I mean, I haven't eaten any, but it just smells so good.
I eat it. I go for like the organic, I try to get the best version of bacon there is.
Okay.
But
whatever that means.
you gotta have a few vices.
You do.
So then for a mid-morning snack, I'll tend to do like some green juice and a handful of seeds or nuts. And then for lunch, I'll probably do like an avocado toast, something like that. Maybe a little bit of kombucha, not a whole lot, but just, a little for the probiotics again.
Okay.
And then in the afternoon, I like to do a mid-afternoon snack, which might be like a banana and some dark chocolate. And I like to drink raspberry leaf tea, so like pregnancy tea.
Yes, I drink that. They say it's really good for cramps.
It is, and it actually helps tone the uterus. So the thought is that it can help with like toning the uterus in preparation for birth. I've heard some people say not to drink it in early pregnancy because there's a higher risk of miscarriage in the first trimester.
Okay.
So going more into your second and third trimester is when you'd start incorporating that. And I actually have a friend who was my doula with my first two births. And she was also our DP Octavia's doula.
Oh, nice.
And we discovered that after Octavia and I became friends that we had actually had the same doula, even though we didn't know each other at the time.
Meant to be.
Yeah. So her name is Nina Phelan. She has a brand called The Soulful Birth, and she actually makes a really amazing pregnancy tea. So you can look for that if you want a really quality product that you can incorporate. Whew, it's a lot of talking.
It is, but you got this.
Yeah, you get winded sometimes when you're pregnant because
you have
less lung capacity.
Right.
Yeah, and also like higher blood volume and like oxygen demand going to the baby.
Take your time.
So then, let's see, going on from there, dinner.
Dinner.
So for dinner, I'll usually do like some healthy fish, some green vegetables, maybe some rice, so we're getting some of those complex carbs and whole grains. And that's kind of my day.
Yeah, looks amazing, whole foods.
Yeah,
right?
it's wonderful. And then the other thing I wanted to share is just like some nutrients that you might want to be mindful of getting and some foods you might want to try to avoid.
Okay.
So iron is really important. So depending on whether you're vegetarian or not, you're gonna want to take a high quality prenatal vitamin regardless, and make sure that it has folate versus folic acid, because folate is better absorbed. And all those B vitamins contribute to neural development, brain health, and so they're really important for the developing baby. And they also help prevent certain birth defects like spina bifida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's really important to get those B vitamins and folate. And then also iron you can get in a prenatal. You can get it from leafy greens. You can get it from like heme iron in dark meat like chicken. And then another one is choline. So eggs are a really good source of choline, and they have found in recent years that choline is really good for fetal development.
Great.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a eating for two myth?
Right, and you don't actually need that many extra calories in the
right.
first and second trimester. It kind of gradually ramps up as the baby gets bigger. So the last few weeks I've been like ravenous, but prior to that, the only reason I was eating more was kind of to try to keep the nausea at bay.
Right. So how many extra calories approximately per day do you need?
So it varies per trimester,
Okay.
and in the first trimester it's not that much. It's like 100 to 150 extra
Okay,
calories.
way less than what I thought.
Right, that's like one piece of whole grain bread.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in the second trimester, it's getting up more 250, 300, and then by the end, you're getting closer to that like 400 to 500 mark.
Okay.
And then actually when you're breastfeeding, which we've talked about in another episode, that's when you need the most. The baby actually has a higher, so breastfeeding mamas be hungry. In terms of foods to avoid, obviously alcohol, caffeine, medications, certain herbs.
Processed foods, maybe?
Obviously processed foods, lots of
Yes.
sugar. Women will get screened for gestational diabetes kind of midway through pregnancy, so you want to be mindful of your eating. It's not just like go to town, have donuts every day.
Right.
It wouldn't be good for you or the baby. You also want to avoid deli meats, and the reason for that is because of listeria.
Oh.
Listeria contamination is very common in deli meats, and listeria can be very dangerous for the baby, and the mom might not actually show signs of infection, but it can cause stillbirth and things like that.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah, so that is one that I do avoid.
Okay.
You can also avoid unpasteurized soft cheeses for the same reason.
Okay.
And then other than that, there's really not a lot. They say like raw and undercooked things, obviously, so a lot of people avoid sushi, but in
Right.
Japan they eat it all the time. So my midwife actually told me like trust your nose. You know, if the fish
does that
smells
mean?
bad,
Oh, okay. Okay.
don't eat it.
I think that's just a rule in general for everyone.
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll trust my nose.
Yeah, so I actually avoided sushi, I think in my first two pregnancies, and with this one, I've been going and getting some salmon carpaccio at a place I really love and trust like
Okay.
once a month. But that's
Not
it.
bad.
And then I have like a veggie tempura roll with brown rice, so mostly cooked. Yeah, so those are some tips, some things to avoid, some things to include. And we would love to hear your pregnancy experiences. So if you want to share them with us in the comments below or ask questions, we're absolutely open to that. And we also have something else exciting that is being birthed into the world
So
and debuted.
exciting. It's our
wanna
new
share?
theme song. So we've decided to do a new theme song for Dancing in the Kitchen, and we're so excited to share it with you.
And it's called Dancing in the Kitchen.
I mean, let's. I didn't think I needed to announce that.
But we've sort of reinvented.
We did. We reinvented it. So
Yeah. So we hope you like it. Let us know.
please.
All right. Good luck to you if you are on a pregnancy journey or a trying to conceive journey. And
Do a little dancing in the kitchen.
keep moving.
Dance, dance.